Let's start this with a prayer. Dear Father, I thank you for this opportunity to be used as a vessel to let your people know that you are available, able, and ready in the name of Yeshua from Nazareth. Let's cut this bread. So it's Deuteronomy 10 and 12. I'm going to read you the one that I printed out. And then, again, like I said, we need some more context. So we're going to go a little bit deeper in there. Just who's eating stuff. Now, Israel, what does the Lord your God require from you but to fear the Lord your God, to walk in his ways, and to love him, and to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul? That was that one. The next one is from, excuse me, the Message. So now, Israel, what do you think God expects from you? Just this: live in his presence, in holy reverence, follow the road he sets out for you, love him, serve God, your God, with everything you have in you, obey the commandments and regulations of God that I'm commanding you today, live a good life. You know what's so wild to me? Is like, we go to a job every single day, and they got rules for us to do for the little 8 to maybe 16 hours that we're there, and we follow them with no problem. And we might even have some thing going on in the back of our mind where it's like, if I don't do this, I'm going to get in trouble. And people feel no type of way about it. Now, this is God. Real quick, let me go to 14. It says, and this is Moses, he said, look around you. Everything you see is God's, the heavens above and beyond the earth and everything on it. But it was your ancestors who God fell in love with. He picked their children. That's you out of all the other peoples. That's where we are right now. So cut away the thick calluses from your heart and stop being so willfully hard-headed. God, your God, is the God of all gods. He is the master of all masters, a God immense and powerful and awesome. He doesn't play favorites, takes no bribes, makes sure orphans and widows are treated fairly, takes loving care of foreigners by seeing that they get food and drink. That was 14 to 18. But man, he's in charge of everything. And I know for a long time, like, I didn't know what I needed to do to get my life right. I know I didn't want to be no holy roller. Oh my gosh, everything is okay. I have nothing to worry about, you know. Saying it and believing it are two different things, right? I lived a life where, man, most of us are lucky to be alive. Should have been dead, should have been in prison. Generational curses that were heaped on us, the way that we lived, you know, having to be in the world and fend for ourselves at an early age and not having the time and or opportunity to grow right. And so in 12, when Moses is asking the question, what do you think God expects from you? What do you think God expects from you? I know he expects from me to get up and try to look like him every single day, no matter what, even if I'm not feeling it. I know that he expects for me to get up and love him because he loves me. I know that he expects for me to get up and trust him because he's shown who he is, and there's no reason I should ever doubt him. And that's what I'm on. And it wasn't an overnight success where it's like, oh my gosh, I seen God do this thing and I totally believe. It wasn't none of that. But, you know, like these are the commandments. So this was Moses in Deuteronomy 10. This is second time coming from this mountain to relay a message to God's people. But let me just tell you something. Moses himself didn't even feel like he was qualified because he murked somebody back in Egypt. Then he was running and he was cool hiding out in the duck off. And God was like, nah, I need you to come back and do something. Oh, couldn't even talk right. What am I supposed to say to these people? It doesn't matter what your position is, how you feel about yourself, or, you know, whether you're strong enough to do it. If God is telling you, like, look, you know we got this relationship. I've called you for something, and this is what I require you. I do require you to love me, to serve me with your whole heart, to be in my presence so you can have the protection. You can always have the guidance. You can always have the love. Now, for some odd reason, I don't know why, and, you know, I went through it too, where I'd get like, I don't have any support. I don't have anybody. And it's beautiful that I didn't have anybody, because it was in that time that God was like, who do you need? I'm me. Go back to 14. Look around you. Everything you see is God's. All of this is his. And we want to be pressed by the fact that so-and-so has more money, or they live this type of life, or they're doing this type of thing. It's all rented. It's all rented. It's all borrowed. I mean, this is God's, and we all squatters. Listen, the 10 Commandments. I am the Lord your God. You shall not have strange gods before me, because why would you go and serve anybody else? When you see Michael Jordan, you were like, oh my gosh, Michael Jordan, I love you. And you worship the ground that he walks on, because he makes these shoes that are made somewhere else. So even he's a fraud, because it's not really his. You should not take the name of the Lord your God in vain. And I know some people might just be like, don't say swear to God, or say swear to God. But he has so many names. And to just treat him like God is anything else, like it's not complicated. It's 10 things. Even if you needed to remember them on your fingers, you could. Remember to keep the Lord's day holy. Honor your father and your mother. Don't kill. Don't commit adultery. Don't steal. Don't bear false witness against your neighbor. You should not covet your neighbor's wife. You should not covet your neighbor's goods. So he wants you to be solid. I'm telling you right now, if you didn't have anybody to show you or tell you, this is it right here. What does God want me to do? God wants me to live in his presence in holy reverence. Like, oh man, I'm so thankful for what God has done for me. I'm glad that I'm not the same person I was 2, 3, 4, 10, 15, 20 years ago. I'm completely different. Follow the road he sets out for you. He's already carved away. But this is the problem. Us men, like mankind, we really want to plan a way without consulting him. And this is where we mess up, because we're thinking bigger than what we can actually do on our own. Love him, serve God, your God, with everything you have in you. So waking up and even dealing with other people, do you give them you? Because I know I used to give people Tanya all the time when I worked at the hospital, but now it's like I need to give them the Most High, because this is what he gives me. The light and the love that he gives to me, I need to give that to somebody else. And show different and be different, because there's a lot of people like me. Like, I speak about my past because it's someone's present. I also speak about my past because it's someone's future. Being with him and without him is something I can definitely give a testament to. And being without him is not worth it at all. I would never want to go back to trying to figure this out on my own, or not having a plan, or not even having, like a code that I live by. His commandments and his regulations are going to make sure I got a good life. This right here, listen, I'm not falling over, it could be a God of someone else. No, it's the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. His name, I don't play with his name, like, ever. Remember to keep the Lord's day holy. I take that rest on the Sabbath because you're doing too much. You got to make sure I got time for my family. I got time to reset. Honor your mother and your father. I do that to the best of my ability. I do what I can for my mother. My father is, out. No killing. Don't commit adultery. No stealing. I don't need to lie on anybody else. I don't need anybody else's possessions at all. And just people around you, like not just your specific neighbor, but people around you, like how are you moving? Because for me, honestly, and I'm going to keep this a buck with you, if you got some fraudulent tendencies in you, don't come around me. I don't care if we got the same blood. But why should I be any different from what God wants? That's what he's saying. He want to make you a solid person. I want you to live the way that I've paved the way for you, the idea, the image that I got for you. I want you to live like that and live it fully. I don't know, maybe you were thinking that it would be difficult. It's not. You holler at him, he sets it up, he puts you on, and you grow. And your name's probably secured in that book of life. But holla at him.